If you're looking for a podcast to help you with your personal growth, daily motivation, aspirations, understanding your vision, look no further. Here with Small Talk, Big Action with Lee Morales. I'm here to assist you with understanding who you are, accepting your growth, embracing it with love. I'm here to motivate you, write your plan in action, put your vision on paper, and understanding who you are as an individual person, what your impact is to the world. If you're ready for a change in your life today, go ahead and subscribe to Small Talk, Big Action with Lee Morales. Today is the day that we let go of things that no longer serve us. Today, we are embracing our new beginnings and letting go and cutting ties of our old circumstances. We are no longer watering dead grass. No, today we are growing and flourishing. Today we let go of old ties. We cut weeds. Today we are embracing our new beginnings. Today we are letting go of the things that no longer serve us and hinder our growth. Today we are receiving our new blessings and walking in our new purpose. Today we are cutting ties. Today, we are certain of our plan. We see our vision clearly. We are embracing our new circumstances, letting go of negativity and toxicity. We are embracing our new selves. We are creating better solutions for our new circumstances. We are embracing our success. Today, we let go and we hold on to the things that water us, the things that allow us to grow, the things that we need. Today, we are feeding into our purpose. Breathe in, breathe out. You are now meditating with Lee. What's up, listeners? It's your girl Lee Morales here, and we are back. It's season 2, and today I just want to say welcome back. I took a short break for just a number of reasons, mental health-wise, health-wise. I just needed to pay attention to myself, tap into myself, just to make sure that everything is okay, and I just needed to rest. You know, one of the things that I love to talk about is prioritizing rest, and so I want to make sure that I'm walking in that, as well as letting you know and encouraging you that it is okay to take a break. I know that my last episode was just to introduce the break in between the episodes in this season. But during this time where we're putting in all this work and implementing new strategies to our new plans of the new year, it's okay to just take a breather. So I wanted to take in that moment and just tap in with myself, make sure that I am good and make sure that I can continue going, because honey, sometimes you just need that moment to decompress, that moment to just take a deep breath and let yourself know that everything is okay. You're working so hard. Congratulate yourself during that time. It's very important to just love on you when you have a number of things to do. Luckily, though, Q2 has shown so much success. So many new things are happening. I don't know if you know, but we have launched our YouTube channel. When I say we, I mean the inkjourney.com. The YouTube channel is dedicated to just self-care channel. And if you have not followed it yet, follow it now. It's Self-Care with Lee meditation channel. And it just is geared for you to not ever forget to meditate. The podcast will be up there as well. So that's why I'm taking a break, or took a break, to just make sure that everything was in alignment with that YouTube channel, making sure that the platform was used how I saw it to be used, and just really making sure that everything is in alignment with my goals and my vision. So I just needed to take a moment to make sure that everything was on one accord, because I don't want it to be any confusion with the podcast, with the Ink Journey, because the message and the mission is still the same. We are just helping everyday people achieve life balance. If that's by meditation, journaling, this podcast to encourage you to keep going, that is the biggest picture, the vision, and that's my end goal. So I just needed a moment to just see if this worked for me and if this works for the channel, and it looks like it does. So thank you for subscribing. Thank you for commenting and loving this podcast. This podcast will still be available for you on all platforms. It's just now including YouTube. So thank you for your support. I love you always. And let's get into this episode, shall we? This episode is called Finding Balance During Uncertainty. The reason why I wanted to talk on this topic is so easy to become extremely frustrated or just down when you are not seeing the things that you are putting and planting into your universe or into your prayers or into whatever circumstances, and the outcome is not coming out how you visioned. It's very hard for someone like me who's a perfectionist, who wants to see things grow immediately. I know I've talked about instant gratification before, but this is almost like I want to see instant results. I had to take my time and take this break because certain things were not in alignment on how I envisioned the outcome. But it made me frustrated. It made me mad. It made me sad. I was disappointed. So I think it's extremely important to talk about that balance that you need mentally when things are not going your way. I've been told before that I'm very spoiled. I've been told before that I think that I'm entitled. I've been told before. If you can relate to just that mentality of a perfectionist, my whole life I have built off of survival. This time I want to give my life grace. I want to take the time to make something perfect. I don't want to hold on to that thought of just instant results, because sometimes instant is not always great. Sometimes instant is not always up to par. And I have to sit back and think about that, reflect in that, and be okay with things not going my way. This is a difficult task for someone like me. It's very hard to plan for the next 5 years of my life when certain areas in my life still need work. With relationships, with friendships, I have been toxic. I have been someone that would sabotage something great, something that could have been great in the future, because it's not being great in the now. It's not being great in the present. So I refused in the past to hold on to something that needed so much work. If that was a relationship with a man, if that was a friendship with my friends, my girlfriends, it was hard to work on those things while I'm still working on me. It was hard to find balance, to work on those friendships, work on those relationships, work on my career goals, work on my passions, work on my side hustles. It's a lot. It's list by list by list. So I would shut down and immediately be sad and go into this depression state and would not get out of bed, would not do what I needed to do, would not focus on my end goals, because everything that was happening in the present was not in alignment with the outcome of the future in my mind, how I envisioned it. I want to let you know that although things are not happening instantly, not when you are praying about them, not when you are just strategizing, you're trying to figure out why a situation or a relationship or a friendship is just not working, give yourself grace. Take the time to breathe in and breathe out. Take the time to really figure out, are you the problem? Are they the problem? Is it worth communicating? Is it worth having a conversation about? Is it worth making sure that you're saving whatever it is, whatever circumstance or situation? Is it worth saving? So take that time when you are being like frustrated with a situation, or where you just don't have the words to communicate with that person or that friend. If you don't have the words, don't go off on and act on emotion. That was one of my biggest mistakes with a lot of situations that I've been in. I've always acted on emotion. I want to be fully transparent with you all because this is something that is so difficult for me right now and so difficult in the past. And I realize that there are certain things that you need to do when things are not going your way. And one of them is to reflect. Reflect on the situation and write down the ways that you would like to see it flourish or you would like to see it end. Not everything has to end on a bad note. Remember that when you're reflecting. Not everything has to end negatively. Some things can end with grace. You give that person grace and they give you grace and it's over, but just for that moment. It doesn't have to be over forever. That was tough for me. That's a tough lesson. I'm still learning it. I don't have to just cut everything off. No, I need to give it time. I'm someone that really wants to be on top of everything, making sure that everything is perfect in alignment with how I saw it. It's okay. I'm going to give myself grace, let that go. In the meantime, just reflect on how maybe I could have approached the situation differently. It's okay to be uncertain about things. It's okay if it's taken more than a week, months, years to figure out how you can act in a more positive way in that circumstance situation. It's okay to let it go for the meantime. And in that meantime, you're developing new ways to approach situations, to act more maturely in those situations, relationships, friendships, circumstances, whatever it is for you. I wanted to start the podcast with a meditation to let go because sometimes it's important to let go. Sometimes holding on to things until they rot are not always great for our growth. So totally decompress, take that moment to just reflect on what happened. And it's okay if you don't have a solution right away. Don't act off of emotion because of that, though. Maybe take the time to reflect on what you need to see happen, what needs to happen in order for you to flourish through this circumstance, situation, or whatever it is. How could you flourish through this? Take a moment to take a moment, okay? Take a moment to just reflect. Write it down if you need to. Let those feelings out. If you're filled with emotion and you're so upset, you're so angry that you could just end it right then and right now, figure out a way to write down those emotions on paper, to figure out if that is the appropriate emotion to place during that circumstance. Is it really worth all this energy? Sometimes I just take a moment and be like, is it even worth all of this? And most of the time, it really isn't. Sometimes it's not worth the tears. Sometimes it's not worth the anger that I built up inside. And that's something that I need to work on internally too, as well. I need to work on my emotions and organizing them and making sure that I am not projecting those negative thoughts, those negative feelings, those negative responses because I'm upset. The person or the situation or the circumstance might not be the reason, or they are not equipped to handle that. So I have to be realistic with myself and I have to come back and regroup during those times to find that balance during uncertainty. Oftentimes, I find myself releasing energies or emotions that the circumstance, situation, the friend, or the person did not deserve during that moment. Now, they might have deserved a reaction right away, but the way I handle things sometimes might be a little bit overly dramatic. And that's okay. At least I'm able to identify those trends that have happened in the past and currently. I am one of those people that I will give just about anything that I have. I will water from an empty cup. That's how much I love, and I love so hard and so dearly that it can also be a flaw. So now that I know my languages, now I know my attachment styles, and now I know how to communicate, which I am still learning. God is not through with me yet. It is and has been a challenge. But now I know to just breathe through the times of uncertainty. Find my balance, find my ways that I can come out on top. And I know that might sound bad and a little bit more contradicting, but not on top of the circumstance like I'm better than that person or I'm better than that situation. More so, how can I not act immaturely, and how can I respond in a more positive manner, in a positive way where that person is able to understand where I'm coming from and still not feel like they have to be in defense mode? Or do I handle this in a more maturely way and just take time away from it? Do I step back from the situation and allow it some time to just kind of like reflect on itself and to see if it's even worth putting up a fight? If it's even worth a response. Not everything and everybody is worth a response. And I think I've said that before in previous podcast episodes. But I'm really truly learning that not everything deserves an immediate response. I have to take time to reflect. I have to take time and develop strategy to see if it's even worth communicating on. Or have I said enough? I have to ask myself these questions. Have I responded before about the same situation? Is it worth another response of communication? Is it even worth my time and my attention? And those are the questions that you have to ask yourself, but you can't act immediately. There's a few things that you can do or respond in ways where you don't have to give them an immediate response. And in certain circumstances where you feel like you have been disrespected, I always feel as if I have to respond to disrespect right away. You don't. You can take your time. And if it's one of those situations, you'd be like, oh, okay, well, I see where this is going, and I will talk to you in a few days. That's one of the things that I really need to work on. I really need to work on coming up with a response where it's not anything disrespectful. Let me just take a moment. Let me reflect and I'll give you a call back, or I'll text you back when I feel more appropriate response coming on. But right now, I'm in the middle of just discernment and I just need a moment to figure out how I'm going to approach the situation you have put me in or the circumstance. And if that doesn't work, just hang up and just take a moment and decompress. And if you feel like a response is needed right away for the circumstance, situation, friendship, whatever, definitely respond when you're ready. But don't respond to disrespect immediately. That's one of the lessons that I'm learning. Number two, it's just like that reflection that you are doing for your visions, plans, and goals. That should be also for there's any circumstance or situation that you're placed in that you didn't ask to be in. You need to reflect on what are the reasons why you're serving this anymore. Should I continue to be a part of this? Should I continue to be this person's friend? Should I continue to be in this relationship where I feel either disrespected or unwanted or maybe unappreciated? Take that time to reflect on what you should do and how you should approach those situations. Finding balance during the times of uncertainty is the best way. But in order to do so, reflection has a huge impact on that finding balance. Finding balance just means that you're finding ways to decompress during the times where you're unsure about how a situation is going to play out. And that's okay. You can be unsure. It's not going to be immediate where you feel like you are able to answer in a nice tone or able to approach a circumstance that may be very difficult. Take the time to find the balance. Take the time to reflect and ask yourself questions. Tap in with yourself. See if yourself is ready for the obstacle that you're facing. And then just meditate on it. Pray about it. And everything happens for a reason. You cannot control everything. There's a higher power for that. There is other ways that you can approach a situation without completely controlling a situation. If you want a different outcome, reflect, pray on it, meditate on that outcome, attract it to yourself. But don't ever feel as if you are not in control. Because once you reflect, once you find that healthy balance, you will be able to see things clearly. It might take a few days, it might take a few weeks, it might take a few months, it might take a year. But be patient and give yourself grace during this time of uncertainty. Love yourself through the time of uncertainty. Remember who you are during your time of uncertainty. Keep going during your time of uncertainty. You are capable of all things during this time of uncertainty. Push through during the time of uncertainty. You are worth every moment of reflection, every moment of meditation, every moment of affirmation. You are worth it. Believe in yourself during your time of uncertainty. And that's the way you maintain balance during your time of uncertainty. Here's to small talk, big action with Lee Morales.